Hey. Time for another Out of This World story from rSpace. Whether it's years of commitment or just a few months of dating, it's wise to take them at face value the first time. Today on rSpace, it's about learning the hard way. Up first, the free ride comes to a stop. Am I the a-hole for leaving my cheating fiancé and then cutting financial support, making her family go back to poverty? So I come here for advice because everyone in my family and friend circle thinks I'm overreacting and need to forgive and the usual BS. So I want to know if you guys think the same. Let me get you the context first. I, Paul, 33 male, met my fiancée, Andrea, 32 female, in high school. Both were 15 at the time, and since then, we both stayed together. We had our rough patches when I went to study to a nearby city, but used to visit her most of the time. But when I finally got my studies done and was able to work at the town we both are in, things got better. To this, I have to add Andrea comes from a really poor family. We are talking 8 siblings, a house made with wood, and a zinc roof. Gotta bless South America standards. So knowing this, I was mostly the provider of our relationship. It didn't bother me. I loved to take her out and eat ice cream and see her smile. Same when I take her to car rides on my father's car. As time progressed, the things I could afford got better since I study in IT and landed a high-paying job working in the town bank. I was almost set for life, I could say. To this that I got myself a nice place to live that I rent from an old man that my parents knew. We're talking one of those ranch houses with plenty of rooms to spare and 2 floors. Also, she could live in a bigger house like she used to say. Then one day she asked me if her parents and 2 of her sisters, 12 female and 14 female, could live with us. That their living conditions are really bad, and I knew that, so I said yes. We had rooms to spare and we weren't expecting a child, so why not? I thought I knew them, and even humble as they are good people. Fast forward there, and I helped pay for a private school for her 2 sisters, plus the medical treatment her mother was going through. I must say the rest of her brothers try to pinch some money, but mostly have day-to-day jobs. And you know how the economy is a hellhole down here, so it never bothered me helping them since I could. Now comes the famous D-Day. We get invited to a birthday of one of her nephews and told her she should go first. Then after I'm out, I'll go. Then I arrive 2 hours later, and I ask one of her nephews, where's she? And then he points to me at the restroom place the park has. So I walk there and I turn the corner to see my fiancée hugging and kissing one of her family friends. She sees me. We both lock eyes, and of course she is a panic. Tells me this is not what it looks like, right? And I bolt towards my car. Funny scene that me running out of the situation. Make the other kids follow me thinking I'm playing a game, but her family picks up fast something was happening as she starts banging on my glass window and screaming as I turn the car on and then drive off. I have no idea what happened after that, just know I felt like crap and went to my parents' place and hid on one of their empty rooms. After a week, I had to face her, of course, and return home to see a whole congregation, basically all her family was there. Imagine 2 parents, 8 effing siblings with kids included, and her all came together to try to see if I could forgive, if I could see past her betrayal. We kind of fight a little, but of course I was overwhelmed. Then I asked the question if the cheating was going for long. She didn't answer. So just walk away to a bunch of people screaming at me to come back. Don't be a coward. Try to see beyond this. You get the idea. Then 3 days later, I asked her to talk alone. Told a couple of mutual friends to help us, and we set a meeting. Then as I arrived first, explained to them and told them who he was and all, to which I learned from one of them that the guy she was with was an ex. From what period I really don't know, and I do wish to know, so you get the idea. The moment I learned about that information, I dropped the meeting, sent her a message saying it's canceled, and that I would go pack my stuff. And so I did. 2 weeks later, after the whole fight, I was moving out of the place back to my parents. We fought a lot, and I had to face each and every one of them, trying to convince me to forgive their sister and her mistake. But I ended up blocking them and putting my foot down, telling them it is not their business. Then her friends pile up. Even some of my friends too, saying it's just a mistake and blah blah. Then what hurt the most was both my parents saying that seeing me like this wasn't right, and perhaps I should forgive and fix our relationship. And yup, in this whole parade of people, nobody gave a dang about how I was doing, only our relationship. To which I ended up cutting ties with most of them besides some of my best friends and my parents on a low contact deal as I moved to a 1x1 crappy block apartment I could rent fast. Now, 2 months after the whole ordeal, I paid the last month, then cut ties with all payments to the house I was renting. Gone. The private school? Gone. Her mother medical treatment and pills? Gone. Also, I must say, try to hold that much while being two teenagers, two retired folk, and a housewife who barely finished nursing school. You get the idea. When the bill came to her, she lost it all and came running to my parents, to which she didn't find me. So she went to work and came to talk. When I was out, she groveled and cried that she didn't want this for us and to give her another chance. If it's not for her mother. I said that I had no attachment anymore to her or her family and drove off. Now she has talks with most of the people on my circle again, and of course, they say I shouldn't be this cruel, that I have the money to spare. Even again, my parents, why let them suffer after all this time, that I should have a little more compassion for them. To which I think, who has compassion for me? So Reddit, am I the a-hole for cutting payments and possibly killing grandma because I stopped paying for care, that they go back to their crap hole house because they can't pay the other one? TLDR, Fiancée cheated, so I cut the payments of her family problems and studies, and making them go into debt and back into poverty. Edit. First of all, I want to apologize to all of you for reading such a mess of text. I wrote it on my phone, but that's no excuse. I should have put it into Word first or something. I'll say that would have really helped. Second, I want to thank you all for the comments. I was really overwhelmed here around me, and I really needed someone else who could understand my point of view. Besides a couple of best friends, the majority was to forgive and move back, but now I think I got the message. I'll try to move on and block. For my parents, I'll stay low contact since I do understand what they kind of side with her, but I don't want to hear what they have to say, and for my fiancé, I'll try to stay away as much as I know. It would be hard being in this small town and all, but right now, I feel like crap, and I don't want to know the whole story of why and when. Perhaps one day when I get the courage, I'll humiliate myself and ask her. I thank you all very much for the comments again, and I hope you all can have a nice day. Alright, time for some comments. First up, not the a-hole. When people say this isn't what it looks like, a majority of the time it is exactly what it looks like. It's not your responsibility to support the whole family or be concerned about what's going to happen to them. Cut ties and move on with your life. It seems that you'll be better off without the weight of the family dragging you down financially. Next up, her and her family are using you as a cash cow, and she got caught, and now she is sorry. You're not in the wrong. Cutting ties and funds is the appropriate thing to do. How long was the cheating? You don't even know. She wouldn't answer. So for quite some time, a year, maybe two, maybe since you were in school, hoping to make your lives better. This is no longer your problem. Your friends need to respect your decision and respect you more than trying to make you someone's open wallet. You're not heartless for cutting them off. You're just refusing to be used anymore. They didn't care about your well-being when they were pressuring you to forgive her, and they certainly didn't care about your feelings when she was cheating. You're not responsible for keeping them afloat. Have you ever been used as someone's own personal piggy bank? Share your stories with us in the comments below. Up next, when ignoring the red flags comes back to bite you. Ex caught with family. So me, 22 male, and my ex, 22 female, were together for half a year. I had always treated her the best I could. Her friends and family would tell her how absolutely lucky she was to have me, and for the first time I felt accepted. About 3 months into our relationship, we were out with her friend getting her nails done. No big deal to me. She lets me use her phone for something, and a snap from a guy I've never seen before goes off. I try not to be nosy, but she always gives me updates about herself and if people add her, so I had found it just weird. I go through it and find her role-playing with another guy. She had sent him our personal video as well, something I was uncomfortable with making in the first place, but she wanted to record and push. I found out the video, her nudes, and weeks worth of cheating. I was an idiot and took her back after she said she would change and prove it. I went against my instincts and took her back anyways. Another 3 months go by and 0 issues. She's happy. She's constantly reminding me how much I make her happy. Please her. Wants to marry me. Have my kids. Go to a hotel room. All types of that. When she comes over again at the start of the year, we fall asleep at my house. She's asleep in my arm when I just had that shaky gut feeling. I couldn't shake it, so I checked her phone. I found nothing on Snap, so I checked her Messenger and messages. That's where I found her texting her ex-boyfriend, who she claimed up, down, left, right that she hated him, ruined her life and everything. They had been video calling for the whole month with some other person who she, my ex, refused to tell me who they were talking about. After that, I went to Messenger where I found a message saying, "I'll do it at my boyfriend's." In my head, I was thinking, do what? Who is this guy? I click it, and for the entire month and longer, they've been video calling. She's sending him nudes, and the whole time, the only thing I could focus on was, I'm with my boyfriend. I'm at my boyfriend's. She would keep saying boyfriend, knowing she shouldn't be doing it. Well, after I found out, me and her split. She calls to talk it out, and I start asking how long she's been doing this. She says not long, but I've learned that she is a pathological liar. She then says the guy she sent the nudes to was none other than her cousin, who I had met a month prior for Christmas. They were messing around at this point. I have since learned that she's lied about her friend, who has the same name as me. She wanted me and him to be friends so she could hang out with him. Turns out they were F-buddies for years. Then she introduces me to her friend's friend, making it seem like she knows him only through her friend. Turns out they were also F-buddies. And a week after we break up, she is messaging me crying how she wants me back. Another chance. She'll change, blah, blah, blah. Turns out she was having sex with the sex guy who she wanted me to be friends with that very same night, as she was trying to have me come over and fix things. Sorry if it's hard to follow. Punctuation has never been a strong suit of mine. Neither is typing. Moral of the story, just because they say it doesn't mean they'll do it, please pay attention to actions more than words. So, update as of 2/22/25. She has reached out to me multiple times in attempts to get me back, and I decided to talk to her and listen to what she had to say. At this point, I have genuinely no interest in her. She basically goes on to tell me how she only wants me. I found her new Facebook account with a picture of her kissing one of the guys she wanted me to be friends with the same week that she's actively telling me she only wants me. To clarify, it was the very first one on the new account, and she tried to change it 3 times to try and cover it, I guess. I then asked if she ever knew how I felt, and she would respond with the most base-level answers. I asked her if she knew why she was apologizing, and then she took 2 minutes to type a perfectly paragraphed, capitalized, and punctuated apology. She spells your. I want to take a moment to sincerely express how sorry I am for the way things ended between us. Looking back, I realized there were moments I could have handled differently and feelings I don't fully appreciate at the time. I never meant to hurt you, and it truly pains me to think of the impacts my actions had on our relationship. I spent a lot of time reflecting on our shared experiences, and I genuinely regret any pain I caused you. You deserve happiness and love, and I hope that you can find it, whether with me or someone else. I'm grateful for the memories we made and want you to know that I wish you nothing but the best moving forward. She has never typed like this, and after she sent it, immediately went back to the extremely typical, please, okay, yeah, and super simple responses. She has made multiple accounts, and I have blocked them all. I am genuinely trying to move on with my life. Next week, I'm signing up for an MMA gym so I can compete as an amateur, something I've always wanted since middle school. I'm not going back to her, and I've decided to keep working on myself. I've started eating a little better, and this past week, I've been back in the gym. I've been gone for about a month. I used to go regularly, and it just kind of feels nice to be back on track. I've never used Reddit for anything other than figuring out old video games, so this has all been very new. But thank you all for the support. A lot of it helped. An apology followed by going right back to her usual one-word responses just proves that she didn't actually mean any of it. And it's a whole other level of sick when she tries to make you befriend the guys she's seeing behind your back. Cheating is bad enough, but cheating with a cousin? Ugh. Not sure what she had to tell herself to make that seem remotely okay. Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. And thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time.